Dabi, aka Toya Todoroki. I think he deserved better, bro. Since the first time I saw his character design, he captivated me. However, in the early seasons, he didn't have much screen time, so I never really paid much attention to him. However, I'll be honest, I think he's one of the best written characters in the show. He was like a villain who had a valid reason for being a villain, unlike Shigaraki, who just seemed like he was born a straight demon. I mean, he had a little reason, but bro, you slaughtered your whole family for like basically nothing. Dabi, however, was abused by his power-hungry, manipulative, physically, verbally, mentally abusive, neglected piece of shit father. Bro, just like me. It's me. I'm niggas. Long story short, after he fell into the hands of the villain side, I like the fact that he still kept his own self of sense. No one could really control him. And All For One realized that and just used his anger to lead him into a direction that would be beneficial to him. However, Dabi was no father's side character. Bro had his own desires and no one could change that. I really like that concept. Whereas most of the other villains under One For All just kind of fear and follow him, Dabi was just that nigga. Early on in the show, he's shown a sense of great intellect while being reckless and a crash out. His moves were calculated as well as being a master manipulator. He patiently waited for 7 entire seasons to show his true colors, and I mean true colors, revealing he was the son of the #2 hero, Endeavor. I don't care, you will never be my #1. Fuck nigga. His character shifted from a cool, calm, collected, and sometimes chill dude to an absolute vile, disgusting villain with no remorse. And I loved it. He got that Kendrick Lamar type of hating in him. The whole family down to his siblings were just targets of his rage. Whole time they didn't really do shit, but that's what haters do. Get other niggas involved for absolutely no reason. The dichotomy of the family made the scenes really intense as emotions were extremely high. Dabi kinda gaslit them into feeling sorry for abandoning him, but also being a mass genociding Molotov, which conflicted them in wanting to save him but knowing it was futile because this nigga was just OD. Fight with Shoto, to me, was a bit lackluster in terms of the climax of the fight, but it wasn't bad. I just hate when they have a climax and then they revive the character and then have another climax. Like, what was even the point in the first place? And My Hero Academia specifically has a horrible habit of doing that. In fact, I think 90% of the fights end up being like that, where the villain gets defeated and then just decides to be like, you know what, no, I'm good, fuck you and your plot. I think Shoto could have just defeated Dabi in that moment, but the second climax was cooler and more heartwarming, so I ain't mad at it this time. Just don't do that shit with Deku and Shigaraki. That nigga need to die off rip. He too evil. They calling him a demon lord. You know how evil you gotta be for niggas to be calling you a lord of demons, and Deku bitch ass trying to save him. This guy stinks! Anyways, that's a video in itself. I was kind of wondering how the heroes would win this whole situation, because I mean, they got half of an Endeavor, and I mean half. I don't know how this nigga is even still moving. They got a powerless Hawks, whom really wasn't doing shit in the first place. Bro was more like support, and teenagers. On the villain side, they have Prime One For All, the Warp thing, this thing, Twice / Toga, and while Gigomachia I think his name is under control for the time being, you know bro finna break out that shit soon. On top of that, they had Dabi and a whole league of villains, so I really was concerned, but it seems like they're gonna take the self-sabotage route, which I mean, I don't like, but they are doing it kind of well, so let's wait and see. The final conclusion to Dabi was actually kind of sad. His entire family who abandoned him kind of reunited to put an end to his villains. That scene with Injin and Shoto was just and a mom pulling up to help. Now come on, I know some of y'all think this show is trash, me included. I ain't gonna lie, I was on the bandwagon hate train of My Academia, but I gotta admit, man, that shit made a real nigga shed a tear. And finally Shoto pulling up with his final attack, saving everybody, which is kind of cliche, but it was done really well. So overall, 8 out of 10. I also like the fact that not once in this entire family reunion Dabi just had a change of heart. Bro is being froze to death, still hating. He want everybody to die. He stayed true to his character, and that's what we need. Niggas who stand on business even in death. Endeavor apologizing was a cherry on top, even though some of the shit he did cannot be forgiven. You kidnapped this lady, forced bread with her, made a bunch of children to try to fulfill your dream of beating All Might, and when it didn't show promise, you basically disregarded them. And the worst part is that Dabi actually was able to use the ice quirk, but yo impatient ass wanted a 7-year-old to rival fucking All Might and didn't wait until bro's nuts dropped and he could fully manifest his quirk. All of this was basically fucking pointless. Anyways, I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on it. I am an anime watcher only, so I don't know what's happening in the manga. I don't know anything about the future, so I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. But My Hero Academia been cooking a little. Excited to see where it goes from here.